Hi everyone, Monique here with Little Gems Creations 1. Today we are making another extra small dog sweater. And this one is going to incorporate the cable stitch as well as the popcorn stitch. So we're going to start that in just a moment. Hi everyone, Monique here, Little Gems Creations 1. Today we are doing another extra small dog sweater or a small cat sweater. Now you're going to need a size 5mm crochet hook, you're going to need a pair of scissors, you're going to need some 4-ply worsted weight yarn, and you're going to need a darning needle. So we're going to start by making our chain, okay? So to make a chain, I cross my yarn over. I leave a bit of a tail to sew in later, and we're going to chain 40. Okay, so I want you to chain 40 and meet me back. 40. Now without twisting our stitches, we're going to go to that last stitch and we are going to slip stitch into that first stitch. Okay, slip stitch, and then we're going to chain up 2. 1, 2. Now we're going to do half double crochets all the way around to end up with 40 stitches. I never count my chain 2 as a stitch. So we're going to go 1. So to do a half double crochet, you are going yarn over into the stitch or the chain, pull through, yarn over, go through all 3 loops. And that's how you do a half double crochet. Now we're going to do 40 of these all the way around. Once you've got 40, meet me back. 3 half double crochets, and now I'm going to go into that chain 2, the second chain of the chain up 2, and I'm going to slip stitch into that. Now I'm going to chain up 3, 2, 3. Okay, so now we're going to start our pattern. Now this is the first row of our pattern, but we're only going to ever do this row once, okay? And you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. So we're going to do 1 double crochet. Then we're going to do 5 double crochets in the next. And the reason I'm describing it this way is because this will be important to our pattern later. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so what's going to happen, this is just 1 double crochet. These 5 stitches are going to be part of our cable, but our cable is yet to come, okay? Then we're going to do 2 double crochets as a space. 1, 2. And now we're going to do our first popcorn stitch, okay? So yarn over, into the stitch, pull through, go through 2. Yarn over into the same stitch, yarn over, go through 2, 3 loops, yarn over into the stitch, go through 2, 4 loops, yarn over, go into the stitch, pull through, go through 2 loops. We've got 5 loops, we want to have 6. Yarn over into the same stitch, and it's getting tight now. Okay, go through 2 loops. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches. Now, kind of pushing those stitches forward with your finger, you're gonna yarn over and go through all 6 of those loops, okay? Now we're gonna do a double crochet in the next stitch, and a double crochet in the next stitch, and then we're gonna do another popcorn stitch, okay? So yarn over, into the stitch, pull through, go through 2 loops. Yarn over, into the same stitch, pull through, go through 2 loops. Yarn over, into the same stitch, pull through, go through 2 loops. yarn over into the same stitch, go through 2 loops. Yarn over, same stitch, pull through, go through 2 loops. 6 loops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yarn over, and while you're pushing forward with your finger, you go through all those loops. Now we're going to do 2 double crochet, 1, 2, okay, and then we'll do 5 more double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so let's count. We should have 20 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. One more double crochet. And that makes 20. And then we're just going to do 20 along the back. Okay, so this is going to be our pattern. Now it looks kind of wonky now. We just have 2 popcorns in the middle there, but what we're going to have is we're going to have stitch, cable, popcorn, cable, and then plain around the belly area. Okay, so do 20 more for a total of 40 stitches in this row, and then meet me back. So I've done 40 stitches. Now to prevent my join stitches from going sideways, I go into the chain, and in the next row I go into the stitch. So this is my go into the stitch row, okay? And I'm always counting my stitches to make sure I have 40. So I'm chaining up 1, and now we're going to do single crochets all the way around. Just plain old single crochets. So to do a single crochet, you go into the stitch, pull through, yarn over, through 2 loops. Okay, so we're just going to do this all the way around. Count your stitches, make sure you end up with 40, and this time when you join, you're going to join in the chain, which is going to be kind of tricky to see, but if you're counting your stitches as you go, this will all work out pretty easy. And then we'll meet back. So I've done 40 single crochets around. Now I'm going to slip stitch into that chain 1. I'm going to chain up 3. Okay, now you're going to see the cables of this sweater start happening. So we're going to do a double crochet in that next stitch. Now we're going to do a treble crochet. So here's how you do that. Yarn over once, yarn over twice. Now we are going to go into this post right here. So there's 1 post, there's 2 posts. We're going into the second post. We're going to go around the back of it, grab our yarn, pull through, go through 2 loops, through 2 loops, through 2 loops, okay? Now, the next post, we're going to skip. And then we're going to go to the next post, and we're doing a treble crochet. So yarn over twice, we're skipping this post, we're going behind this post. Pull through, go through 2 loops, 2 loops, 2 loops, yarn over twice, go to around that next post, pull through, 2 loops, 2 loops, 2 loops, yarn over twice. Now that post we skipped, we're going back for. Okay, pull through, go through 2 loops, go through 2 loops, go through 2 loops. Now, the next post that we should have taken if we hadn't have gone back is where we're going next, okay? Pull your yarn through, go through 2 loops, 2 loops, 2 loops. Now, at the back of your work, you're going to skip 5 stitches because you done them around the post. So we're going to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On that 6th stitch, you're going to do a double crochet. And then you're going to do another double crochet. And now you're doing your popcorn stitch. So see how our braid has already started down here? That's why we started our popcorn stitch down there. So yarn over into the stitch, pull through, go through 2 loops, and in the same stitch again, go through 2 loops, yarn over in the same stitch, go through 2 loops, yarn over again, same stitch. We're doing 5 double crochets in here, but we're not completing them. Okay, and here's the last one. It's going to be a bit tricky. And now using that finger, push that work towards the front, yarn over and go through all those loops. Okay, now yarn over, we're going to do a double crochet in the next stitch and another double crochet in the next stitch. And now we're going to do another popcorn. Okay, so yarn over into the stitch, pull through, yarn over, go through 2 loops. And we're doing that 5 times. So 1 post, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now push that work towards the front, yarn over, go through all 6 of those loops, yarn over, you're doing 2 double crochets, 1, 2. Okay, so here's what we got so far. We've got our starting of our braid and 2 popcorns. Now we're going to start our second braid. So yarn over twice. And we're going to, okay, so there's our popcorn, 2 posts. Then we're going around this post through 2 loops, 2 loops, 2 loops. Skip the next post. We're going into that 1, 2 loops. Oops, see? Yarn over twice. I hadn't yarned over twice. So through 2 loops, through 2 loops, through 2 loops, yarn over twice, and then the next post, 2 loops, 2 loops, 2 loops, yarn over twice, go back to the post we skipped, two loops, 2 loops, 2 loops, and then yarn over twice around this post, and then looking at our back work, we're going to count 5 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In that next stitch, we're doing a double crochet, and that will bring us to 20 stitches so far. So you have to do another 20 stitches around the back, and you're just doing double crochets, and then you're going to do another row of single crochets, and then you're going to do this pattern row over and over and over again, and we're going to do that until we have 5 of these. See this little part of the braid here? We're going to do that until we have 5 of those, okay? So meet me back once you've done that. So keep going. So this is the pattern row, and then you have a single crochet row, and then a pattern row, single crochet row, okay? So do that until you have 5 of these, and you'll end off with the single crochet row. No, you'll end off with the pattern row, okay? Sorry about that, I had to think that one through. So you'll end off with the pattern row. So this 5 of these, keep going, single crochet. And don't forget at your join, so you did chain, stitch, chain for the single crochet, and then this will be stitch. So you'll be going into this stitch over here when you're doing your join. Okay, so do that and meet me back. See, I've got 5 of these little things. So I'm gonna finish this round, slip stitch into this one is into my stitch. I'm gonna chain up 2. Now we're gonna count out 20 half double crochets, but where we connected, we're also going to do a half double crochet in that same stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Okay, so you should have done 1 half double crochet before your braid and ended with 1 double crochet after your braid, okay? And look at that, isn't that cute? Now I know it does go a bit wonky at the bottom, but it still looks really cute on the dog. If that does bug you, you can definitely block this sweater. I personally don't block anything because once it's on the animal, it looks just fine. Okay, so we did 20 stitches. We're gonna chain up 2 and we're gonna go back and forth on these 20 stitches for a total of 6 rows. So this counts as 1 row. So back and forth until you've got 6 rows and then meet me back. Okay, so I've done my 6 rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have my loop. I'm going to cut a tail. And then I'm going to take the tail and pull it through the loop. Okay, and I'm not pulling it very tight. I want to be able to pick it loose later, but we're just putting it like that so it doesn't unravel. So this is what we have so far. Isn't it adorable? I just love it. Okay, so now we're going to do the belly part. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go back over here where we started. We're going to go in this stitch. We're going to attach our yarn. Sorry, I'm working around a camera here and so I'm kind of all thumbs. So we're going to chain up 2. Now catching my tail at the back, when I do that first stitch, I'm going to catch my tail and that just anchors it down. And we're going to do 20 half double crochets across, okay? And I'm not catching my tail anymore. I'm leaving it there so I can weave it in. Now, if you're asking yourself why I'm not just catching my tail all the way through, I find that that doesn't anchor it enough. That if the dog pulls or you have to stretch it to get it over, you know, say your dog has gained a few pounds, and no one's judging you, Bella, but let's say that your dog has gained a couple of pounds, well then you might have to stretch it a bit, and if your yarn isn't anchored properly, it's gonna loosen your work, and I just don't like that. I want like stable work. I don't like my stuff loosening it. I did an Afghan that I used that to anchor my threads, is just catching the tail along the back, and I find that that Afghan just does nothing but drive me nuts. You know, when you use your feet to kind of push the Afghan over, maybe you don't do it, but I do it. It'll pull that yarn that's tucked, and every now and then I'll have a piece of that yarn sticking out just in the back of the work. And I know it's in the back, but to me, that drives me nuts. So anyway, that's why I don't do that. I anchor it, yes, but then I also weave it in. Okay, so I said 20 stitches and I got talking and I lost count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And these are half double crochets. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to chain up 2. Now we're going to start decreasing. Now this makes the chest part of our sweater, which you don't want it as full in the middle because then their little legs will be like, and we don't want that. So we're going to decrease on each side. So this is how I do it. Yarn over into the stitch, pull your yarn through. Yarn over into the next stitch, pull your yarn through. You have 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to go through all 5 loops and made that 1 stitch. So this row is going to have 18 stitches. So what we're going to do is this counts as 1. We're going to count up to 17, and then we know our next 2 stitches have to be done together to make it an 18 row. So that's 3, 4, and I hope that makes sense to you. That's how I keep track. 5, 6, and if you haven't had a chance, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Oh, and I got talking and I lost track. Dang it. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can't do 2 things at once. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and then this is our 17. So we know our next 2 stitches have to be worked together to make this the 18 row. So we go yarn over into the stitch, pull yarn through. Yarn over into the next stitch, pull yarn through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops. Yarn over, go through all 5 loops, and that made your 18th stitch. Chain 2, and now you're going right into another decrease, okay? So yarn over into the stitch, pull through, yarn over into the stitch, pull through. 5 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yarn over, go through all 5 loops. So this row is going to be 16, and you're going to keep going down until you're down to 10 stitches, okay? So do that and meet me back. Okay, I've done down to 10. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach across to the other side here, and I am going to go into the top of that chain 2. Come on. Okay. There we go. Sometimes it's tricky, right? And I'm going to slip stitch, and then I'm going to chain up 2, and then I'm pulling my loop big. Now over to the other side where I told you not to pull it tight, we're going to pull that apart now. Oops, don't pull too much. Don't lose your loop. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to go into that chain 2 on the other side. And like I said, sometimes it's tricky. Tricky. Okay, we did a slip stitch, and now we're going to pull our tail through and pull tight this time. So in essence, we have made the holes for the little puppy's legs to come through. Okay, so now what we're going to do is back to our, over here, we are going to go around and around like we did before, half double crochets, and we should have 30 stitches. And remember, you go into the chain for 1 row, and for the next row you go into the stitch. And we're doing this for 3 rows of 30 stitches, half double crochet. Do this and meet me back. Okay, so I've done my 3 rows. So see, 1, 2, 3. I'm going into that chain 2 up. Okay. I'm slip stitching, cutting, putting my tail through my loop, and pulling tight. And there you have it. So you can stop now if you know how to hide your threads. And like I said, this is one that wants to curl, so if you want to block it, for me, I just fuss with it until it lays flat. And then when I like store it, I just put things on top of it to hold it flat. But there is your cabled and popcorn dog sweater. So now you can leave it like this if you like, which I think looks just fine. The other thing you can do is put a couple of buttons. I have some really cute cat buttons. And I know I said it's a dog sweater, but it can be a cat sweater, or it can be, you know, a dog sweater with cat buttons. Aren't these the cutest? I got them on eBay. I just love them. Doesn't that just add? And what you'd do is you'd line it up with the space, right? Isn't that just adorable? I love it. So I'm going to show you how I hide my threads. Just in case you're not a pro crocheter, and everyone does things a little different too. So one of the things about my tutorials is I try and make there be as few threads to hide as possible, because I gotta tell you, I hate hiding threads. So I have my handy dandy darning needle, and all I do is I go in the stitches, but I'm not going all the way to the front, I'm just going through the loops, and then I go back a little ways, and then I go forward through more loops. Hope you can see this. I hope I'm in frame. And then over some, and then back through a few more loops. And then sometimes I go downwards, and then other times I go back upwards. And I just use the tail, and then I cut it. Okay, and then we go to the next one. So see, this is where you skip the stitches to do the cabling. And so that, if it looks like that, that's right. That's the way it's supposed to look. So now my next thread is over here. And again, I just thread it on my needle. I give it a little tug, not too tight. I don't want to distort the stitches, but at the same time, I want them to be closed and firm. And I just go back a bit and then forward. And then I go back a bit and then forward. And I'm only going, I'm not going through the front. And sometimes I go up, and sometimes I go down. I just do whatever floats my boat. Okay. And then, so there should be, I think 5 threads to hide in total, which, you know, like I said, I hate hiding my threads, so as few as possible. Go a little back and then a little forward. Go up and down. Okay, and then snip. And then I'm on my last thread, and it was that quick. Some of my videos, there's one in particular, oh, I don't know what it's called, but I use it to use up a lot of my scraps. I have one in my craft bag right now. And I use 12 different colors in it. And I think I did a video, and I did it with 3 colors, I think, in that one. But that one has a lot of threads to hide. Oh my goodness. And as you're seeing, I'm not doing knots. If you want to do knots, go ahead. But me going back just a bit and then going forward kind of acts as a knot, because when you pull, it's not going to loosen. Okay. And then for the stitches, or for the stitches, for the buttons, I'm just going to take a length of yarn. So, I don't know, I just snipped it. This ball of yarn I'm working off of is just ginormous. So, we would turn it back inside in. Well, that was inside out, so yeah, I guess inside in. We want to make sure we're lining it up just right. Make sure our popcorns are sitting nice and that our arms are where they're supposed to be. And then I decide my buttons. I love these buttons. Okay. So then I always do the lowest one first, so I like that placement. I'm going to hold it there and kind of go in blind. These are buttons that have a shank on the back. So what I've done, see, I've got yarn. Oops, I don't. So I want to get yarn, shank, and yarn. Can you see that? I hope you can see that. Okay, and I'm going pull through. Where's my, there it is, okay. So, there we go, and then we're just gonna go through that again. Yarn, shank, yarn, and maybe again. I hope I'm staying in frame. Okay, yarn, shank, yarn. And then I'm going to go a knot. Okay, and then I know I always say never cut where you knot, but this is the one time that I do, but I leave quite a bit of a tail there. See, so you can easily see where it is. So if the person who buys it, for me, I sell these. So if the person who buys it decides they don't like those buttons, they can clearly see where the button is, so they can. Okay, is it just me? Are those two kitties looking different directions? That's kind of cool. I like that. Okay, so again, we're gonna do this. So yarn, shank, yarn. Yarn, shank, yarn. And we're leaving a bit of a tail. So yarn, shank, yarn. Okay, so that means I went through twice. I'm gonna pull it tight and then I'm gonna knot it. Okay. And we're gonna give it a snip a little bit longer so that you can see if you decide you want to change the buttons. And there is our sweater completed. Oh my goodness, I think it is adorable. Don't you think that's adorable? I love it. Does it need another button? Look, see, I got a whole bag of these buttons. I just love them. Think it needs a third button? No, probably not, right? Because that'll be up on the dog's neck or the cat's neck. No, there. I love it. And there we go. That is the completed sweater. Now, don't forget to hit the like and hit the subscribe. If you want notifications of when I'm doing a new video, hit the little bell, but I'm told it doesn't always work. So just remember, I try and upload a new video every Thursday, okay? So every Thursday there should be a new video up for you. Oh, I think it's adorable. See? And what I do is I just fuss and I stretch and I adapt, and there you go. You know, and you can do the same with the buttons. You know, just manipulate. Oh, I love it. Okay, hit the like and subscribe, and thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye now.